Well, there was that large rummage sale in this hockey arena that I go to every year, well, twice a year. But the spring one was this weekend. Now, I've been trying to do a video like I normally do on what I got there, but it's been so windy I haven't been able to do it. So odds are I've already moved some of the stuff, so I might not get it all in here, but this is the stuff that's still not been unloaded. Okay, first thing, good old bowl. Now, I'm really not sure, it's got that maple leaf with a W. I'm not really sure where they come from, but these are a classic old mixing bowl. $5, so that was a reasonable deal for a very functional bowl that I think everybody's grandma had. Okay, another one of these cooking kits. Now, they're poorly made. I mean, it's thin enamel and they work until you chip them and they rust out. But this is your basic set that you can buy in any Walmart or anything like that. The one thing I do like about this particular set, the frying pan that they come with, it's got a fairly heavy steel bottom, so they actually are relatively functional for cheap ass gear. The main reason I wanted to get this set, that is a common type of set. I'm going to be building a new grub box out of wood, and I want to make it to hold a basic set, to cook for like 4 people. So I wanted to use something that's easily replaceable, if you should damage them. And it's got the basic stuff that you need. Nothing fancy, but it's got the basic stuff. Okay. Stanley thermos, in excellent shape. I don't remember what I paid for it, but it wasn't much. But they're good to have. I actually have one of the lunch boxes that these fit into, and eventually they get, I break the cups is what usually happens. Okay, odd little cheap lightweight hatchet, though I can't find any brand name or country of origin on it. But I thought, if you want to carry a light hatchet, boy, this baby's light. Actually, kind of ridiculous. It's got a nail puller, but to drive a nail with that thin edge, it's really about the same weight as a decent knife. But the interesting thing, see, the Marbles Sight Company, at one time, Marbles made a safety pocket hatchet, they called it, or pocket axe. And it was similar in design to this, but it had a guard that was hinged here that went over the blade, and then it folded back into the handle for in use. That'd be the thing to be nice to run across. But them you don't see. But I thought, it's nothing much, but it is certainly light. So well worth having. For, like I say, I didn't pay much for it. A whole box full of ice fishing gear. Regular basic old poles, one of them strainers, and 3 of these tip-ups. That you put in the hole, and then if something pulls them, a flag pops up. I don't do a lot of ice fishing, but if I don't use it, I've got a couple brothers that would certainly love to have that stuff. And it wasn't much for the whole box full. Oh, a simple little baking pan that I'll probably throw in with that because it's the same kind of thing. Okay, a meat grinder. Now I already have one like this, but it's the kind that is actually got a base, 4 bolts that hold it. The reason I bought this one, it's in really excellent shape. Now, and it's one of the American-made ones. You can buy them now fairly cheap that are the Chinese ones. But I thought, well, if I can get a good, another one at a reasonable price, so I never have to buy a Chinese one. And that's, you know, I've got sausage stuff and everything that fits on there. Soldering iron, it's one of the big old ones for use with a blowtorch. You know, big copper head on them that they actually hang over the blowtorch, heat up. They work if you know how to use them, but not many people do anymore. Got two of these that are the regular old duffel bags, you know, the military ones, where they got that clip on top where they hook together, and they got the backpack straps on them. They're actually really handy for a lot of things. I got two of them. I already got one in use. But these were new. But like I say, handy. I never talked about when I brought that Thompson home. I had went to town on a motorcycle, and I had one of these along, and I was able to get that Thompson into this backpack and made home with that in there. Well, these were from one of these guys selling, you know, odd little new crap. But just a set of those odd little picks, you know, different shapes for getting O-rings out, you know, poking around and things. They're kind of handy to have. Now this looks like something I wouldn't want to see somebody playing with. It's regular saw blades, high-speed steel, and a little mandrel that you can chuck them in a Dremel. Well, now my thought, okay, this would work fine for shortening those 270 cases. I have to shorten them to use them in the Argentine. One of these would work fine, but like I say, I wouldn't want to watch somebody using one. I got a whole pile of extension cords. And these are actually, you know, there's good cords and there's really cheap cords. These are pretty good cords and they're in excellent condition. You know, what really got me was this one. And there's actually two more of them, but I've got them in use already. But I have one like this I use for the grater, because what I like about these, there's a light in the plug. So if you're getting power, the light is on. That's something that's handy, you know, especially if you go to plug a vehicle in, like my road grader. I want to know that it's getting power, so I don't come the next day and she's froze solid. Okay, another pressure canner. You know, it's the basic Presto model is exactly like what I have already. It's the exact same model. No, I think they're between like 60 and 80 new. This one's like new for 20. And I thought, okay, when I'm canning, it would be nice to have a second one, you know, for juggling. Because it takes a while to build up pressure, it takes a while to drop down. You know, it'd be nice to work with two of them. And then this thing, it actually wasn't at the rummage sale, it was at a thrift store later. But it's just a nice little roaster. But it was a funny deal. Okay, here in the top it says $4.99. Well, then when I got it up to the desk, she opens it up, pulls this out, it says $2.99. Well, then she wanted to charge me, and she did actually charge me another $2.99 for this inside part, which is part of the machine. But, you know, the people pricing that stuff don't know what the hell they're doing sometimes. And still, you know, for $8, that's a good roast that'll fit very well in my oven. And it'd be good for, you know, like a pheasant, something like that, small ham. It's worth the $8. It aggravated me a little bit that you have to buy. It's like, you know, like buying a pair of shoes. You got to buy one shoe. Oh, they don't come with laces. You know, yeah, they come with laces. But I think that's the majority of the stuff.